Yo, what's going on, guys? KrispyFlakes here. For today's video, we are going to go through 25 NBA players with the most trade deadline potential. So I am going to be using NBA 2K19 so I can look at stats and things along those lines. Just because I want to see which players are listed here, and even if I think they make sense or not. Because in some cases, it might just be like, why is this player even on this list? While in other cases, it might actually make a little bit of sense that they would go to a different NBA team. So here we go, guys. The first player we have listed is Draymond Green of the Golden State Warriors. So you actually look at his player stats on the season, and outside of his offense, the stats are pretty much exactly the same. Like, yeah, his scoring is down a little bit, but he's never been a great scorer anyway. Rebounding is actually the best it's been in about 3-4 seasons. The assist is still right there. The defense is still amazing. Turnovers is what it's always been. And even his field goal percentage, like, yeah, last year he was at 45%, which is nice. The year before that, he was at 41% like he is right now. So, free throws are looking a bit better out there. I mean, I know there's been, like, drama in situations like that. But, overall, it's like, I don't know why they would get rid of Draymond Green. He seems to be, like, the perfect four for this team because this team has so much other guys offensively. You know, you have Draymond that doesn't mind being the glue guy and doing everything else. So, I guess maybe if there's some big-time drama going on with Kevin Durant, which I don't think there is anymore, then okay, maybe that's one reason to keep KD happy. Next up, we have Klay Thompson of the Golden State Warriors. Now, this one doesn't really make much sense to me. I mean, Klay Thompson, yeah, I think he is struggling a little bit this season with the shot. 3-point shots down to 36%, which is hard to believe saying that's struggling because that's still really solid. But yeah, man, I guess like if you don't really feel like you need Klay Thompson on this team and you could maybe go and re-sign Kevin Durant or get DeMarcus Cousins at a cheap price, and maybe you can go out there and get like a Wayne Ellington or a Wesley Matthews to play that shooting guard position and just bring some defense and three-point shooting to the team, then I guess that's one reason you get rid of Klay Thompson. I would love to see him on a team where he could be the number one option. I want to see what he could do in that type of system. I don't know if it would be optimal for him just because, you know, he does really well being that second guy to like Stephen Curry or Kevin Durant depending on the game, or even that third option at times. I don't really see a big-time reason unless they think that DeMarcus Cousins or Kevin Durant might walk away and they would rather have one of those guys for whatever reason. The next player we have, Kevin Durant of the Golden State Warriors. Okay, up here we have a Golden State Warriors hater in our midst. I mean, there is rumors of KD going to teams like, I believe the New York Knicks was one of them was listed. I think maybe the Clippers was also listed. There's been talks to the Lakers. So yeah, the only reason you trade Kevin Durant is if you know for a fact that he's not re-signing. Even if it's just like a chance he doesn't re-sign, you still don't trade him because it's still Kevin Durant, second best player in basketball. Yeah, you don't just get rid of KD unless you get a really good haul back for him, and I don't think that's really going to happen. All right, the next player probably going to be freaking Quinn Cook or something like that. No, next up we have Kawhi Leonard of the Toronto Raptors. So why exactly would the Raptors want to get rid of Kawhi? The only reason I can really think of is because we know Kawhi does not really like voice his opinion on things very often. He's a very silent player. While the team is currently 28-14 on the season, Kawhi Leonard is playing MVP basketball. I guess the only reason is if you know, once again, same as Kevin Durant, if you know for a fact that Kawhi Leonard is not coming back to the team and doesn't want to be in Toronto, which you can't really get that sense from him because he doesn't really talk at all, then yeah, maybe that's the reason to look elsewhere. But even with that being said, like if Kawhi knows that he's if the Toronto Raptors management knows he's not coming back, that means other NBA teams know that. And nobody is going to give up a lot of pieces for a guy that's not going to re-sign with the team. So, unless it was like the Lakers or somebody like that. But even in that case, why give up these valuable young assets if you can just wait till the NBA offseason and be fine with that? I mean, I guess the only thing that would probably do it is like the damn Bucks, so they don't got to worry about the Toronto Raptors in the finals or in the Eastern Conference Finals. All right, next we have Kyrie Irving of the Boston Celtics. Kyrie's actually having a really good NBA season, if I remember correctly. I mean, about 23.6 assists. And not to mention Terry Rozier, like he's having a good season for a backup point guard. But I mean, this is definitely Kyrie's team, right? So I know once again, Kyrie's name is always in rumors as far as wanting to play for like the Knicks or the Brooklyn Nets or one of those type of teams out there. I personally don't get the sense that he's going to leave the Boston Celtics. I think he's going to stay with them for the long term. It just seems like a team that doesn't mind giving him like the reins to it. And yeah, you got stars like Jason Tatum out there, and I guess Gordon Hayward, he's been playing a little bit better out there. Is not all that great anymore, but I mean he still has his games. But yeah, this is Kyrie's term, and I think that's exactly what Kyrie wanted. He wanted his own team out there. So really, I could see this team making a trade for other guys that does not include Kyrie Irving, just to get him that next big-time superstar like that Anthony Davis type of player on his team. Next, we have Jimmy Butler of the 76ers. When is the last time a star player like Jimmy Butler has been traded like twice in one NBA season? I know there's been guys that have been traded multiple times, but not as somebody like star caliber as Jimmy Butler, because it just is getting to the point. I mean, you look at his season stats, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Those are all-star numbers, man. Those are like borderline superstar numbers. But if it's not really linked to wins, then yeah, then I could see where it happened. Let me pull up the 76ers real quick here. They're currently 27-16 on the season, so that's not really a bad record. I think they are probably going to play it out with Jimmy Butler, see how this season ends, and then make that choice going forward on if they want to keep him or not. Next, we have Kemba Walker of the Charlotte Hornets. So let's go to the Hornets real quick here. They have a record of, one second, man. Yeah, Charlotte Hornets, they have a record of 19-22, looking like a bottom team in the Eastern Conference. So it's a very interesting situation, because with Kemba Walker, this team's not exactly the greatest team in the NBA as is. You get rid of them, then it's like, yeah, they're falling to the very bottom of the Eastern Conference. So I think this team is kind of hoping, obviously they want to make the playoffs, so it's probably not going to happen, but that they're hoping that they end up doing well in the lottery and they end up getting like a top-notch draft pick to put alongside Kemba Walker, because Kemba's only 28. He's like in his prime right now. With his style of play, he's probably still got 6-7 good seasons of basketball left in him. So I guess, Michael Jordan and the organization is hoping they can still find a way to build around him. Maybe eventually Malik Monk and we got Miles Bridges. He has not really done much this season as a rookie. Hopefully those guys step up eventually and really become big-time pieces for this team. Okay, next we have Hassan Whiteside. So I really think Hassan could help out a championship contending team right now. On the season, man, it's like, yeah, his scoring's not as good as it once was. I mean, he's never been a really amazing scorer. Go back to the 2017 season, was averaging 17 a game, but last year was at 14. Rebounding is still fantastic. His defense has been great. It's just the Miami Heat. They're just like, they're 20-20 on the season. They might get in the playoffs. I've been loving Justice Winslow at the point guard position and stuff like that. But I mean, if they believe that they can't really, make that next step and do anything in the playoffs, I think it's better to get rid of Hassan Whiteside, trade him for like some sort of maybe protected first round draft pick. I also think he has, looking at his contract, he does have a player option. So I mean, trade him to a championship contending team that can, eat up the salary cap right there and pay him that $27 million. And I think that would be a pretty good option for him to help out a team like that. Next up, we have Chris Middleton. So I'm not like a big-time believer in fixing it if it ain't broke. Right now, the Milwaukee Bucks are 29-12 on the season. So Chris Middleton, for one, he has a very friendly contract, man, $13 million. He'll probably decline that, though, because I would say he deserves more than that on the market. His scoring's down just a tad from last season, but it's still really good. 3-point shot is at 38%. Rebounding is great. Playmaking is great. Defense is great. He is the type of player you want on your team when you have somebody like Giannis. Like, he's not afraid to be that second option. He actually relishes in that moment. He's not looking to be the superstar. You want guys like that on your team that can put up the numbers like he can, all-star numbers. You don't trade away a guy like that, plain simple, man. So unless they don't think they can win with Chris Middleton as their second option, and they don't want to pay him his money, then maybe you look to trade him away. But I think I would probably just let him walk in the offseason. Next, we have CJ McCollum. Okay, now this is a type of trade I actually kind of believe in here, because Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, they are very similar in their style of play, guys. I mean, they're both averaging, in the low to high or mid-20s for the points per game, both good rebounding guards. Of course, Damian Lillard is the playmaker of this team. He is the point guard. But I mean, I just feel like this is too much of the same thing on one team. So I would love to see CJ get traded for like some type of like small forward, maybe to the I don't know, man, maybe go to like the Timberwolves for like Andrew Wiggins and a draft pick, something like that, because I want to see him go on a team where there's not the type of player that Damian Lillard out there, because I feel like he would do even better in that circumstance. So yeah, they are currently 26-17. They're always good in the regular season. It's just they need wing players, and they don't really have them right now. Next, we have John Wall. Well, he's not getting traded this season because he is currently injured, but when he is back and healthy, I don't know. I think a choice needs to be made between Bradley Beal or John Wall. I still don't know which one I would trade yet. Bradley Beal is a lot younger contract-wise. I mean, his contract's smaller year-wise, but I mean, John Wall is still, he's going to get that huge extension and everything to himself. So I don't know, man. I just don't know what team would take on John Wall, because like 21 points, 9 assists, 2 steals, those are really good point guard numbers. But it's clearly not leading to wins, as they are 18-25 on the season. But it's like you're not going to get equal value back. I can't think of a circumstance where this works out better for them in the end. It's just really not going to. Okay, next, now, Bradley Beal, same song and dance. Listen, man, you don't trade both these guys away. I think you trade John Wall over Bradley Beal. That's just my own personal opinion. I really do like Bradley Beal a lot. I like John Wall, too. It's a bad situation. You just wish these guys could work things out. Next up, we have Marc Gasol of the Memphis Grizzlies. So I actually just did a Memphis Grizzlies rebuild here on my channel. And you look at this team. Let me go pull them up here real quick. Memphis Grizzlies. They are 19-22 as of the making of this video. That is second to last in the Western Conference. You have 2 valuable trade options on this team in Mike Conley and Marc Gasol, both in which are not going to help this specific team, but sure in hell, man, could help out a championship team. Like Mike Conley, 31. He's got like, what, because he's got the 2 years left on his deal. I think he's got another year. So, yes, that is pretty expensive, but I mean, 20 points, 6 assists, one of his better seasons in his entire NBA career. You know, you try to think of some teams out there, like the Phoenix Suns could use a point guard like Mike Conley. The Detroit Pistons could use a point guard like Mike Conley. There's plenty of teams out there that could use his services. And I think could put together a nice trade package for the... I know I'm talking about Mike Conley, man. I should be talking about Marc Gasol. Pretty much the same song and dance as Marc Gasol, because I'm sure Mike Conley will probably be on this list. Same thing with Marc Gasol. There's plenty of teams out there that could use a center of his services at 16 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. One of the better passing and defensive big guys in the entire NBA. Can shoot the 3 ball. It's like in both cases of these guys, man, there could be some nice trade value put together for both of them. Next, we have Nikola Vucevic of the Orlando Magic. So he's been playing some all-star ball this season. You look at the fan voting, and I know he's not like the sexiest name out there, man. He's not like a household name, but he is a quality center. He's not getting any all-star votes at all. 20 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Very good contract. 1 year, 12 points, $75 million. I do think that's up after this season. Yeah, he doesn't have any sort of option or anything like that. So the Magic are 17-24, not looking to do much this season. I say you go out there, you trade him to a championship contending team, try to get some sort of first round draft pick, maybe see some young assets out there. I mean, you did draft Mo Bamba for a reason, to be the the guy of the future. So maybe you allow him to start for the rest of this season and just kind of get some mint under his belt. And not to mention, you would also be tanking. So eventually you could hopefully draft a guy like a Jay Morant or something like that in the draft. Next up, we got Jrue Holiday. Ooh, I don't know if I agree with this one. It would need to be a really good trade for the Pelicans to let go of Jrue Holiday. He's playing some of his best basketball. Yes, he does have a bit of a bitch-ass contract, you would probably say. But looking at his stats, he's career high in scoring, assists, steals, field goal percentage is pretty solid. 3-ball, he's never been a great 3-point shooter, but he's capable of knocking it down. I think he's been pretty nice alongside Anthony Davis. This team, it's not Jrue Holiday's fault that they're 20-22. They have some other issues out there. They need some wing players. I honestly think, as much as Julius Randle and Mirotic have both been great, either you start Mirotic at small forward position, which I know isn't ideal, but you work with what you got out there, man, or you trade away one of these 2 guys for a position you need, like a point guard or a small forward. Plain and simple, man. Jrue Holiday, he's doing fine out there. Next up, we got Tobias Harris of the Clippers. So, I think it's pretty easy to predict that Tobias Harris is not going to be returning to this Clippers team. He did decline an extension with the team. I believe it was the end of last season. And yes, he is playing all-star basketball at 21 points, 8 rebounds per game. As far as trading, like what could you get for Tobias Harris right now? He's on that 1-year deal. It would need to be with a team that he wants to go to. I believe the Brooklyn Nets is one of them. I think it would be kind of cool to see someone like D'Angelo Russell, Tobias Harris swap, something like that, because it seems like the Nets are pretty invested in Spencer Dinwiddie. Although with having Shai Gilgeous out there, I don't know if you would do that. I mean, there's some teams out there. He definitely would have a pretty good value to him, but I think at the same time, it would need to be a team that he absolutely wants to go to, or the teams are not going to give up the assets. Next up, we have DeAndre Jordan of the Dallas Mavericks. So let's go bring them up here real quick. If I remember correctly, I believe he's having an okay season. Like, he's at what, man? Oh, damn, maybe not. Yo, he's 11 points, 14 rebounds. That's about what he's always done, though. Sure, the scoring's down a little bit, but I mean, 11 points, it's barely down. Rebounding is still really good. 2 assists per game. Shooting 69% from the line, which is extremely valuable. Field goal percentage is nice. 1 block per game. It's just the only big time issue with him is that he doesn't exactly fit into the future of this team because he is getting older. I mean, those athletic-based centers, age starts to catch up to them, right? So maybe you go out there, you trade him for a younger asset that you can kind of like use to build like Luka Doncic and Dennis Smith. Maybe you package him with Dennis Smith and try to get like an all-star caliber player to play alongside Luka, and you go with that route. Regardless, I don't think this team is. They could potentially sneak into the 8th spot of the playoffs, but they're not going to win it this season. I just don't feel like DeAndre Jordan is worth the money as of right now for this squad in particular. We have Lou Williams of the Los Angeles Clippers, so still one of the best 6 men in the entire NBA. On the season at 19 points, 5 assists. I don't know, man. I feel like I probably keep him. I mean, he's on a 2-year, $16 million deal. That is, you don't get this type of output for that type of money anymore. It just does not happen, in very rare cases. The team is 24-17. Something seems to be working for them, and I think Lou Williams is a big part of that. I think there would be teams out there that would give up quite a bit for Lou Williams just based off having him for those 2 years on that $16 million. But if I'm the Clippers, they're not really looking to be in a big-time rebuild mode at 24-17. I mean, hell, man, keep him on the squad. Look what he's doing for you. Next, we have Eric Bledsoe. So his name always seems to pop up for the Bucks as a trade piece. Once again, man, 29-12. It seems to be working whatever they're doing out there. He is averaging 15 points, 6 assists per game. Would I trade him personally? I mean, if you can go out there and get like a big-time 3-point shooter to add to this offense, then yeah, that's nice because... fact of the matter is that Eric Bledsoe is more of a driving to the basket, natural type of point guard that wants to get other players involved out there. But when you have Giannis basically doing that, then you need to put the right players around Giannis. And, adding Brook Lopez and Middleton, having Middleton on the team with Brogdon. Eric Bledsoe, while he's putting up numbers, it's just not exactly the perfect fit alongside Giannis. All right, next we have, Damian Lillard. Yo, I don't know. I'm sorry, dude. I'm not a fan of trading away Damian Lillard. Like, it's hard to come across a point guard like that. It's just like, look at these numbers he's putting up there, guys. And how old is he? He's 28. So I guess in theory, he is getting up there just a little bit in age. Not quite there yet. He probably has like 3 more seasons before you really start getting concerned about him. So yeah, I guess in the next 3 seasons, if Portland doesn't think they can put the right guys around Damian, then maybe you consider trading him away. But looking at the contract situation of this team, like you got your 3 guys locked up right here on pretty average, decent money. Evan Turner is going to be expiring next year. That's enticing to some teams to trade for. Maybe you get rid of that this offseason. Same with Maurice Harkless. That's been the big issue with this team is that a few years back, they gave all these guys horrible contracts, and they have not had the cap space to put the right players around Damian and CJ. So now those guys are coming off the books pretty soon. I still think you hold on to Damian and hope you can get another big name to sign with them. Derrick Rose of the Timberwolves. I don't know, man. They're 20-22. As much as I love Derrick Rose, I feel like for him to put up the numbers he's doing right now, I don't think he would be doing that on a championship caliber team. Like, yes, he would still put up really solid backup point guard numbers, but I think that, for a team to win, Derrick Rose would probably have to take a step back and just, fill into the role of being a backup point guard. It's been a fun story. I personally want him to stay on the Timberwolves and keep on doing what he's doing just because it's been so much fun to watch. Next, we have Lowe of the Brooklyn Nets. I did talk a little bit about him right now, or earlier in this video, I believe. So you look at this team, and right now he is averaging 18.6 assists on the season. He comes off the book after this year. They just gave Spencer Dinwiddie a really nice contract, and his numbers are not far behind. I would be all for trading Lowe. Just trade him to a team that's looking for a point guard. Maybe a team I would probably trade him to the Phoenix Suns, or maybe the Magic. You could probably work out some of the Magic too, but the Suns have TJ Warren on their team, and I feel like TJ would be a great fit at the small forward position, kind of position they need out there. Then you have you have Dinwiddie, Karis LeVert when he's back and healthy. TJ Warren, that's a nice scoring trio right there. Joe Harris splashing threes as a 6-man. You still got Jarrett Allen out there. Maybe trade him for a 4 spot, something like that. But yeah, you don't need both these point guards on this team, man. And they already gave Dinwiddie the money, so yep. Tim Hardaway of the New York Knicks. So, yeah, he's actually having probably his best NBA season at 20 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Field goal percentage is very low, though, so it is kind of one of those cases of just scoring on a really bad team. Contract at $17 million. There's worse contracts out there. The team is 10-32. He's helped in a few of those wins, so I think you trade him, save the $17 million a season Tim Hardaway goes to a team, still continues to be a decent scorer out there, if not a six-man off the bench. And this team saves $17 million that they can throw at like Kyrie and Kevin Durant in the offseason. Next, we have Josh Richardson. This one I probably disagree with. Look at the Heat situation. They are 20-20 out there. Josh Richardson leading scorer, only 25, getting paid $9-10 million a season. Yeah, you don't trade away a guy like that. I disagree with this one right here. Then we got Anthony Davis of the Pelicans. I mean, you know, I don't feel like you trade people like Anthony Davis, but the Pelicans is an exception. You guys have proven year after year after year that you simply cannot build around this guy. I don't know what it is. Just the management is having a tough time playing the right players. I mean, look at his numbers, guys, going back to his rookie year. Like, he's 25. He still is not even entering his prime yet. Please give this guy the Kevin Garnett, Timberwolves treatment. Trade him to the Boston Celtics. Trade him to somebody out there. Let him be great. I don't know, man. I'm just sick of seeing him lose because he's a lot better than that. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the format like this. It's definitely a lot of fun to do. I know it's longer like this, but it gives us something else to look at. So yeah, man, be sure to drop that like, subscribe if you're new to my channel, and peace out, my friends.